For today's Take 5, I'm joined by Wayne Patola, who is a co-owner here at the Peace Regional MRI, which is having their grand opening today here at the Dawson Co-op Mall. And Wayne, can you just sort of tell me about why you started or decided to start this business?
Sure thing. We actually have been in business since 2010 actually here, and we've been offering MRI for joints only. Now we've seen that there's a severe need for MRI of all body parts, so we've taken the step to install this new state-of-the-art 1.5T full-body MRI unit.
Okay, so the difference here is then that you've got the new machine in that can do sort of a lot more, I guess.
Absolutely. We can now do every body part. We actually have access to very advanced imaging. We can image hearts, brains, spines, all the extremities, livers, everything in between basically, from head to toe. And we have access to radiologists who are reporting in St. Paul's Hospital in Vancouver, who are actually the experts in the field for most of these things.
Okay, awesome. And yeah, I guess what spurred your decision to increase your service, I guess?
Well, we saw that the area is being severely underserviced. Right now, patients are waiting months to get in to have an MRI done in places that they have to travel to. So it's for patient convenience more than anything else.
Okay, and yeah, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself as one of the co-owners and just everyone else who's sort of behind the project?
Sure thing. Myself personally, I've been doing the MRI for 25 years. I head the MRI unit at St. Paul's Hospital in Vancouver, but this is co-owned by a local, Blaine Curry, who actually is head of the X-ray department in Dawson Creek here. He's got about 15 years of MRI experience, and our other co-owner has got about 27 years of MRI experience. So we have a ton of experience behind us. We can offer services that are going to be hard to find even when the new magnet goes in Fort St. John.
Well, and yeah, that's the one other thing I was going to ask you. It's somewhat interesting timing, obviously, with the Fort St. John Hospital getting their MRI machine. Do you think people are still going to be coming here, even though they can get that service in Fort St. John?
You know, there's going to be a huge demand for MRI up here. The population base is enough to support a local magnet here, plus the magnet in Fort St. John without any problem at all.
Okay, so you know, even with the cost associated with getting an MRI here, which is somewhat substantial, costs in the thousands in some cases. I saw on your guys' website. You think people still will be coming here as opposed to going to Fort St. John?
Sure thing. Well, when you take a look at the fact that patients are still going to have wait lists of up to 6 to 8 months, it's important to get your treatment done as soon as possible. So some patients will find that the wait's untenable, and they'll need to actually look at other sources, whether it's traveling to remote places like going to Prince George or going down to Vancouver for their scans, or having it done more quickly here.
And is it very common for sort of more remote places like Dawson Creek or just in general across the country to have sort of private MRI clinics?
We're seeing more of it, particularly in BC and Alberta. There are more private MRI clinics opening, and that's because there is the demand. People don't want to wait those 6 months, 8 months, even longer for an MRI. There are some procedures in Vancouver even we have probably about 10 private clinics in Vancouver where patients are still waiting over a year for their MRI.
And so what kind of a wait would it be for people coming here?
No wait at all. So basically, if you send a requisition in, we can pretty much scan you the next day. Reports are available within 24 to 48 hours.
And so I guess that's the big draw, obviously. There is no wait at all. And yeah, can you just sort of explain, if someone does need an MRI, what sort of things is it looking for, I guess?
So with an MRI, first you need to see your physician. They need to make sure that an MRI is warranted. We won't do one just because you want one. It has to be for a good reason. And MRI is capable of seeing, well, pretty much everything, actually. Fantastic for looking at brains, for tumors, for other injuries, spines, for disc health or nerve impingement. We do cardiac imaging to look for the overall health of the heart, livers, everything in between. So, yeah.
Cool. And so, yeah, I guess if someone, is referred by their doctor to get an MRI and they want to come here, what's sort of the procedure for them?
Sure. If you or your physician forwards us a requisition, then we'll take a look at it. We'll bounce it off our radiologist to make sure that we're doing the appropriate test, and then we'll book you in for your MRI within the day or two. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today, Wayne.
You're welcome. Thanks very much.
That is Wayne Patola, who is one of the co-owners here at Peace Regional MRI.